What's up, it's Alpha Wolf with Wolfpack Gaming. Today I wanted to bring you guys a Thor build because I haven't made one for him yet, and I know my Avengers content has been lacking lately since Outriders came out, so I wanted to make sure I catered to all of you Avengers players out there still. But before we jump into the video, I wanted to take a second to discuss my channel. Right now, only about 4% of those of you watching my videos are subscribed to the channel. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to take a second to subscribe. Not only will it help you keep up with my future Avengers content, but it also helps the channel and I out a lot. With that out of the way, let's jump into the build. The build will start off like all the others with a brief overview of the build and how it functions, then we'll move into stat priority, gear, skills, and then finish off with some gameplay. Build has a heavy emphasis on heroics, and this is because Thor's heroic rating actually scales the best out of every hero. His heroic rating can get higher than any other hero, and because of this, making his heroics the strongest out of them all. It'll focus also on incredibly high survivability by having not one, not two, but 3 Jarvis barrier perks active at a time, truly making Thor feel like an actual god and making it incredibly hard to kill you. Your primary stat will be Valor to boost the damage of your heroics, and your secondary stats are going to be Might to boost melee damage and Resolve to increase your maximum health. Moving on to the gear, we'll begin with the melee gear piece, which will be Faultless Spark of Ambresses, which can be obtained from the Tachyon Rifts. The main perk we're looking for here is Cosmic Amplifiers, which adds cosmic damage to Thor's light signature attack. This attack can be performed by holding the light attack button numerous times to spin his hammer. We want this first of all to apply Cosmic, which will heal us when dealing additional damage when they've become afflicted with Cosmic, but also because it will enable the battery effect. When Cosmic is applied, you can use your heroics, which deal shock damage, to deal additional damage by combining a positive and negative status. Next, we have our Precision gear, which will be the targeted Jarvis barrier grip. This can be obtained from the last Avenger standing 14th floor hive. We want this because of the Jarvis barrier perk, which has a chance to trigger on a ranged critical attack. This is perfect for Thor because he has a skill which we'll touch base on in a little bit, which allows him to hit guaranteed ranged criticals, making this a valuable Jarvis barrier perk. For our defense gear, we use the Hivemind chestplate, which is looted from the Mega Hive. This not only has our second Jarvis barrier perk, which triggers on perfect evades, but it also boosts the effectiveness of our evade substantially with the evasive protection and extended evade perks, increasing our survivability even further. And finally, for our heroic gear, we have the Girdle of Asgard's Scion, which can be obtained from the daily villain sectors. This has our third Jarvis barrier perk on it, with a chance to trigger when defeating enemies, but also has Ultimate Heroic Charge, which increases the base charge rate of our heroic ultimate by nearly 16%, allowing us to use the Bifrost more often. For the major artifact, we want the Tactagon, which will increase our might and valor slightly, as well as increase damage to enemies afflicted with a status effect, as well as status damage in general. Your minor artifacts will need to be double or triple Valors if you can find them. If not, a Valor combined with defense stats like Resilience or Resolve will be helpful as well. Moving on to the specialty skills, for the support heroic we want Ymir's Wrath and Asgard's Fortune. For our assault heroic, you want to use Thunderstorm and Rolling Thunder. And finally, for our ultimate heroic, we'll be using Muspelheim's Torment to cause burn or plasma damage in the area where we land, which will help with the battery effect with our shock damage we deal, and then Invigorating Bifrost will be your second. Next, we have our mastery skills. I won't be going over them all, but will touch base on the important ones, so make sure you either pause the video or screenshot this image to copy my tree entirely. The first important skill is in our combat tree, and that's Heroic Charge, which will allow our heroics to charge even faster for us. Next, we have our ranged tree, and the first is Critical Throw, which is the guaranteed critical hit I mentioned earlier. By timing the charged throw properly, you can hit guaranteed crits. How you do this is by watching the circle charge around your reticle. Immediately when the reticle fills, the hammer will flash and you will release the trigger to throw. This will cause the throw to be a guaranteed critical, and on top of that, if you activate your Odin Force with the right trigger while the hammer is in the air, each lightning strike that hits an enemy will be a guaranteed critical hit as well. This will allow us to trigger our Precision Jarvis Barrier perk really easily. Next, we have Critical Return, which will give an increased chance that when the hammer is returning to hit a crit as well, which can also trigger our Jarvis Barrier. Next, in our intrinsic ability tree, we have Dodge Chance, which will pair nicely with our defense gear that buffs our evade, allowing us to charge our intrinsic back up much quicker. And finally, we have Charged Heroic in the intrinsic overcharge tree, which causes our heroics to charge 10% faster while we're overcharged, allowing us to use our heroics even more. And that brings us to the end of the guide. Lastly, I'll be showing the gameplay to show off the build and how much damage the heroics can do, along with the insane survivability that it offers. If you enjoyed this build, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button to show your support for the channel. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, everyone.